Hey, go-getters! We are coming to you live and impromptu today. I want to say hello to everyone that may be tuning into the live broadcast, or if you're catching us in the replay, I am super happy to see you all here. Um, Today, we're actually going to get into talking a little about planning for the upcoming year, 2024, and making your business smoother. We're going to explore some importance around checking how your tech tools actually stack up to ensure that you're really not wasting your money and really understanding the significance of updating our processes and just the way we do things to make them better. But as usual, before we get started, I want you to say hi. If you're here with me live, uh, tell us who you are, where you're watching from. If you're catching this on the replay, still do that. We love to circle back and show our replay watchers some love as well. It's awesome always to have so many different folks tuning in, and I get a little geeked out about that. So, definitely tell us who you are and where you're watching from. I also wanted to let you know that if you are here with me live and you happen to be on LinkedIn or Facebook, for some reason, I'm not seeing those comments. So, so if you are actually here, you might want to hop over to YouTube as I can see those comments and I'll be able to respond and engage with you. But if not, we'll circle back as well to make sure we capture and answer any questions that may be lingering out there. So for those who might be new here, I'm Tanisha Halstead and I specialize in assisting fellow coaches, consultants, and small business owners make their work easier by combining business strategy with business tech solutions. So I wanted to, before we get into what's being taught today in the live stream, I wanted to share what's coming up. So in January, we've got a 5-day challenge just for small business owners like yourself. And imagine that we move past the complicated tech stuff, I promise. And then we want to look at the tricky parts of your business and find simpler ways to work, make a plan, and actually take action. Take action and put those things into motion. I'll be sharing this link with our email friends first. So if you want to stay in the loop, please join our newsletter. The link should be in the description of the video that you're watching now. And then if not, I'll also drop it in the chat. Here, I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat. Let me grab that for you guys and I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat. Just in case, sometimes the tech is teching and I'm not sure if you're able to see that. All right, so I just went ahead and dropped that in the chat, how you can subscribe to our newsletter just to stay in the loop as we roll out sharing that link to our email subscribers first for our 5-day challenge happening in January. So with this 5-day challenge, we're going to work with small business owners to really move past that feeling of having complicated tech. And we'll talk about those tricky parts, like I said, of your business, find simpler ways to work, and also not only just find the simpler ways to work, make the plan and put it into action. So I'm really excited about that and just how it'll be life-changing for a lot of people. So maybe you've been having trouble with old ways of doing things or feeling lost with your tech solutions. Let me know if that is you. It's a yes or no in the comments. And This is a safe space, so I don't want anyone to feel like you're not able to share. So now we will get into what we'll be covering today. So a hot topic right now is a lot of people, as we transition into the new year, they are strategically planning for 2024 or just rumbling around with thoughts in their mind of what they would envision it or want it to look like. Next, we'll talk about checking in on our tech tools or our tech stack, depending on who you talk to, and updating old ways of doing things. And we're going to share I want you to share your thoughts along the way. Consider it like a cross-country drive and we have a bunch of pit stops. So let's dive into number one. And as I do this, I will also do some screen share to share some things that I do as far as it relates to these topics, and also some internal resources that we share. So for the first one, it's thinking about strategic planning for 2024. So when we think about that, it's really understanding what type of strategy or significant impact, well, I should say what I think about is a significant impact that will happen or I'd like to envision for the upcoming year. And this really involves setting clear goals, defining some strategies of how we can achieve them, and aligning them with the direction of our business for really growth and success. Something that really helped me this year was the Rutgers EPI program. And this program actually was a 9-month program where we went through different things thinking about our business sustainability, marketing, finances, and all of those things that jazzed and came together with a strategic plan. But with that plan, it's now breaking it down. So I'm going to hop into a screen share just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So this year I'm trying something a little different where I built out this pretty much a Google Doc, and I'm considering it to be our 2024 roadmap, building it along the way, but keeping some key things and some structure in mind. So starting at the top, I wanted to think of what is my big, audacious, scary goal. And of course, I modified this because some of that information just isn't for recording and sharing. But I left a few things just so you can visually see how this works. So I started with the big audacious goal, and say, you're someone who's into speaking and maybe yours is getting into a TEDx talk or getting to host a TED talk. Then there may be a link to whatever resource or organization that sponsors that big audacious goal that you're thinking of. Now, next I get into my annual goal. So I left one here because this is something that I'm willing to share that, this year I'd like to be able to impact 100 small business owners, lower the tech barrier, and implement tech solutions to streamline their business and truly work smarter, not harder. Then we think about theme. For me, it's almost like thinking about your one word for the year. And for the business this year, I want to work on sustainability. And what that means for us could potentially be launching new services. And with that comes some market research. It could also be things around speaking. Maybe there's a particular number. Again, this is modified for recording purposes. But in relation to that annual goal, it was thinking okay, well, what's sustainable in achieving that goal and how can I break it down? So I just put 2 examples here. And then on my original document, I have also included my EPI growth strategy from the program that I explained with Rutgers, because I want to keep it at the forefront. And it's very easy for us as we go through the year to have shiny like squirrel moments where we kind of stray away from our plan. And sometimes it's necessary, but sometimes we just get distracted. So I'm going to have that there. Then I have macro and micro breakdown is, say, for instance, something that ties into the sustainability. One of the goals is, growing the audience. So I would go down to this area and say grow overall audience by a certain percentage, and then break that down even further by the marketing channels that we use. Then I get into important dates. So if you're someone that is possibly hosting speaking engagements, workshops, trainings, all that jazz, it's very easy to lose sight of the dates, who booked for what, even though it's on your calendar. I put this here because it's allowing me to see everything in one place. And then it's also allowing me to see what the status is. Like, okay, so maybe I need to submit, my slide decks or something to that particular organization. So it's just allowing me to see a bird's eye view of what needs to be done. Then we get into the quarter where we kind of break it down a little bit more and have some questions here. Then we'll get to the content. And this is where my team will be able to help me out. Even if I'm not able to, totally focus on content, they're able to jump in and see what's the strategy, what's the goal for the content for this quarter. And then this brain dump section is as I grab resources. So it has, my potential things for growth. It has other documents from the previous year that maybe I need to reflect on something. And it has potential links. So one in particular I was looking at is a digital marketing / e-commerce certification through Google. And then one in particular is us launching our weekly live stream show. So this is just a place for resources, for brainstorming, and then we get up top and do the strategy. So we'll just recap that towards the latter part of this live stream, but I wanted to show a tool and a resource for that. Okay, awesome. So then we'll jump into talking about our tech stack. So it sounds real fancy, but really it's letting us see if our tech tools are helping or just costing us money. I want us to get into a practice, especially towards the latter part of the year. It's nice if you could do it quarterly or even, every 2 quarters or something like that, to look at what you use, what's working, and what might need to be changed. So I'll jump into another screen share just to show you a tool that we're working on internally as well. So something that I'm building out inside of Google Sheets is pretty much us being able to list out all our tools. How often do we pay for them? Is it a monthly? Is it an annual cost? Is it a one-time cost or a lifetime subscription? How often is that payment? Is it free? And then is it something that's active? Is it something that we'll need to research later? Because listen, we're all out here looking at a bunch of tools and getting a lot of resources, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So this is a placeholder for it, and then we can come back and deal with it later. And then it's important to also see, for me, what department is using what tools, and then I could see kind of where most of our cost is going, and then understanding what type of tool it is. Now, here's where we put what are we using this for? And this may be a good way to see if you have any overlapping tools that might be just wasting your money, and being able to consolidate. So of course, some of this is in here for recording purposes. So some of these prices and things of that nature may be different, but this is just giving an idea of how you can take a moment and review what you have, see if you're even using it, because I don't know about you, but I've definitely signed on for a promo or maybe, a 3-month subscription to something, and then they charge me for the whole year or something like that, and I didn't even use the tool once. So just something to consider, because we want to hold on to our money a little tighter in 2024 and not just flush it down the drain. So hopefully that was helpful. Last, we'll get into reviewing outdated processes. So sometimes our old way of doing things just doesn't work as well anymore. And I want us to get into a practice of talking about how to make them better for a smoother business. So as your business evolves, what you were doing when maybe at the earlier part of the year or even last year, you're evolving. So there should be a review of your processes and make sure that outdated processes aren't hindering how efficient you do work, and having them updated can lead to smoother workflows and really even your team being happy because it's improved their productivity and really saved time. So one of the tools that I share when you are mapping out your processes is also in a Google spreadsheet where and this is just here for visionary example. So you would start, maybe you're thinking about like, what does it look like for me to create content? Maybe you've advanced your tools. Maybe you're now adding in video. What does that look like for you and who's doing what? So this tool will allow you to break down all the steps that's included in getting this completed. And then it'll be able to, link to the tools that's needed. So you have quick access, everything is right there. And then who's responsible and how often. So that's a simple way sometimes to just get started in seeing, really, are there too many steps? Do I need to cut something out? Is this even beneficial for your business anymore? So to sum up, we talked today about planning smart, taking that time to check in on your tech tools or your tech stack, and updating how we work. We want to keep things fresh and simple so we can help business be easier. And I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to join us for our 5-day challenge to dive deeper into these topics and take actionable steps towards enhancing your business. So let's make your tech work for you and find easier ways to do your work. I really wish you and your loved ones a happy holiday season. Keep doing great things. As always, I'm cheering you on. Love y'all.